Backups. Need to be like you. I need to be like you. I just be on like a wing and a prayer. All right, let's do it. Ready? All right, what to do, family? It's your favorite host, Mike on the mic, keeping the vibe alive till the wheels fall off. And I'm joined by somebody really special, actually. One of my good friends. We're here in Concord, North Carolina at the House of 90s Museum. Big shout out to Jess before we get into this. Yeah. But I'm sitting here with a great friend of mine, a Charlotte, North Carolina native. Mm-hmm. A legend in my eyes. DJ Dive-In. What's up, fam?
What's up, man? What's up?
Man, I'm doing good.
Great to have y'all here, man.
How's life today?
Man, life is great, man. It's great to have my friends here and my peers here, doing what they do, and seeing y'all do what y'all do, and we all just come together and doing what we do. So it's much like old times.
Yeah, we always make a splash when we link up, right?
Exactly.
Legends in the building.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. We talked off camera, but I definitely want to say that all the things you're doing, everything that you're into, events, opening for people, radio, everything. It's super inspiring, and I'm super glad to see that you're, all the work that you put in early on is really, really paying off.
Really
and,
appreciate that.
It's inspiring for me. It's inspiring for a lot of people who are watching you, who are up and coming DJs. And so, yeah, man, shout out to you because you're you're making things happen.
Appreciate it.
Now,
man.
For those who may not have heard your style of DJing, for those who may not have come across you yet, how would you describe your style of DJing for one of those people?
I would use one word, and I would say unexpected.
Yeah. Okay.
My whole, goal of when I'm DJing is I'm trying to catch people off guard. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not going to miss, those essentials and, the joints that people want to hear, but I'm going to cover all bases, and it's going to be some stuff that you might not have known you wanted to hear when you walked in, but when that dropped in that moment, you was like,
oh, yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
for
that
sure.
Placement.
Yeah, that's I think that's definitely a good way to describe your style. I mean, we worked together a couple years ago at Howard Homecoming, and that was certainly the reaction that I got from the crowd of like, man, I did not know he was going to play that, and I am so glad he did. And I just took him there with you, and it was always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure working with you.
Always.
But Howard Homecoming was definitely a moment. Man, I think you had did the previous year as well. And tell us about that previous year, because I know.
Goodness, man. My goodness, man. This is another off-camera conversation between me and Lupe. I actually called this man Lupe after they booked me for the following year. This was my second year of it, I believe, because the third year was at Abigail, if I'm not mistaken. So this was my second year. The first year I came out and I learned the harsh lesson of DJs, if you're watching, in-house equipment. Don't trust it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I went there and I plugged up and there was a list of things wrong. I'm not going to list all of them for you because it might sound like I'm speaking a foreign language to some people, but things was wrong. I couldn't scratch on one of the wheels. It's just... But I made it work.
Yeah.
But that next year, I gave Lupe the personal call. Mike on the mic.
Yeah. Shouts.
Yeah. I gave him the call to put on the mic cape and say that, we need you to come in here. And because it was personal, man. It wasn't personal against nobody, but I'm like, I got to undo this.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't, although I had a good set that year before, I wasn't pleased with it.
Right.
And
always high standards.
I was very pleased with that.
Oh, yeah. We went crazy.
Killed it.
If we can get some footage of like the event, man, it was nuts. It was fully packed, lights everywhere. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's what happens when legends link up.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mentioned we're in North Carolina right now, Concord to be exact. And I seen your progression when we were at Howard, starting off like your mixtape series and, just kind of just getting into the DJing thing. And you graduated and got right back home. You came right back home and started DJing here. And I want to talk to you for a minute about some of the things that, along the way, what are some of the highlights of, I guess, your career that you automatically think of when you think about your progression as a DJ?
Well, I can go
Hold on.
all the way back and say it was the numerous rappers I got to meet
You gotta say that
as a
again.
kid. Like, as a kid, for me to meet Prime Ludacris, you know, he just dropped back for the first time. He just performed, you know, Throw Them Bowls. And we meeting him and taking pictures with him. That's inspiration in itself. That was one of my favorite rappers at the time.
Yeah.
I actually got to spend about 10 minutes with DMX.
Wow.
10 minutes with DMX. And I was about
Rest in peace.
12 years old. Yes, rest in peace. And he had just dropped this Dark and Hell is Hot. He was on fire. He headlined Summerfest that year. Another that was a Power 98 event, Summerfest. Shouts out to Power 98. And it was crazy, man. He had everybody rocking. I chilled with him, and he really does bark like in general conversation.
Yeah, certainly.
Like 5 minutes before he got on the stage, he said, 5 minutes. Oh, oh, oh. He actually said that. And he was serious, like, because they had a little room. He was calling his boys in the back. But, like, it's moments like that, you know, meeting Jeezy, meeting T.I., and, you know, being able to chop it up with him for about 5 minutes. Seeing Wayne more times that I can count. I done seen Wayne about 4 times.
Damn.
Watch the Throne tour. Like, that's all of that is the roots of the, you know, where the interest came from. Because I was going to concerts always. From there, it was, you know, me deciding to, you know, really buckle down and teach myself how to DJ.
Yeah.
And this progressed into, I think when I dropped that Future mix, that was the first mix to where, and it was the way I did it. Like, that was when I, you know, really executed a fundamental DJ set to where there was scratching, there was blending, there was, you know, things like that. I just kind of merged the concepts in that. That was a big moment. Me opening for Boosie, it was huge, man. It was
huge.
It was out of nowhere. I'm just some, you know, some kid DJ that people don't really know, but his transitions is straight. Like, you know, that's just what I am at the time. And DJ False ID, shouts out to him. MMG DJ actually handpicked me to open for Boosie. On top of, we actually went here yesterday, the Epicenter, that big shopping center I showed y'all that was shut down. That was like party restaurant central, and I actually opened for Boosie on that rooftop.
Wow.
Had a little crowd. It was dope, man. And that was a big confidence booster for me, because it was like, you know, if I can get in front of all these people, and, you know, a lot of people that knew me from the past, I was pretty shy. I wouldn't even say I'm not shy anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of antisocial at times. Yeah, but But that really gave me that confidence that, you know, okay, I can do this, and I can do this in front of a crowd, and I can do this, you know, that's about as official of a, you know, cosign or that you can get. So I'm like, you know, that was a big deal. And definitely the Southern Entertainment Award nod. Shouts out to the C's. The awards were actually yesterday. It was dope. And it was just, you know, just kind of like the Boosie situation out of nowhere. When they DM me and contacted me, my first thought was, how did y'all find me? Like, how do y'all know who I am?
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, it was just kind of, it was surreal, man, you know, to be recognized on a regional level, actually before I was recognized locally.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was crazy, man. But, you know, it just showed me that I'm doing something right, and I need to keep it up. And, you know, even if sometimes you can't stop to see your own success and give yourself your flowers for you putting your head down, working so hard, you still get a tap on the shoulder sometimes, like, hey, bro, you doing something. Like, so
look at you.
That's pretty much what that was. But
I mean,
still,
go ahead.
It's humbling, bro. Like, it doesn't change how I feel about it. I'm still nothing. I don't do this for the shallow reasons.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's mainly about your work ethic. I think, you know, me seeing you as a DJ working as hard as you have been, you know, like, I think that speaks to people's, they recognize when you're good at your craft. Your skill set is sharp. And that comes from putting that 10,000 hours in. That comes from, doing transitions on your free time. And I seen a lot of that. Like you mentioned your mixtape, your future mixtape. And I witnessed a lot of these mixtapes kind of be put together at Howard when you were putting these 10,000 hours in. And talk to us about the road of being a DJ at Howard, and also that, initial mixtape era.
I was overcome with inspiration at the time, man. I was around, I was always passionate about music and I always loved music, but I never realized how passionate about music and how much I love music until I got to Howard. So for me to be around and brush shoulders with, these music heads, these people that really digest music on the same level as me, and I'm not used to being around these people. I just think everybody's like that.
Yeah. And
then I get there and I see, I'm like, whoa, okay, not everybody got all these songs in their iTunes.
Exactly.
For instance, when I'm seeing people like, immediately when I get on campus, I'm seeing people like Big Will, DJ Chubby Swag, huge shouts out. Like LR, DJ Detroit. Like, I'm seeing these people and they doing their thing and they expressing themselves. It's inspirational, man.
Yeah.
And I just kind of soaked it all in, man. I soaked it all in, and I was very fascinated with DJing. So I always had the ear for it, and that's when I kind of started the process of teaching myself. I got a virtual DJ. It's still a program. You can still get it for free, like I did to teach myself. And I just kind of learned timing from there. The timing was the first important thing. Timing is the pulse of DJing.
Yeah, and get into that for me, like the subtle, skill set, like the toolkit you need for a up and coming DJ. Talk to me about what does that utility belt look like?
I'm about to really put y'all on. The fundamentals, like, I know you hear, press play DJs, blah, blah, blah. You got to start there. Like, you have to start somewhere. If it's basketball, you can't just come in dunking and, shooting threes like Steph Curry.
Right.
That takes time to build up to that. That's like doing a layup.
Yeah.
You press and play at the right time and layering the track together, and it sounds good together. Stuff isn't out of place. There isn't, random. There's a rhythm to it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the big step number one. Step number two is, like I said, the manipulation of it. So you have your highs, your mids, and your lows. Lows being the bass, mid being, just a blend of both of them, and highs kind of being the vocals.
Yeah. You
learn to manipulate those, and most of the manipulation occurs with the bass because you cutting bass in and out.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the art of blending.
Facts.
This they need to pay for this interview.
Yeah, dropping gems.
But scratching, I said the timing was the most important thing first, because you can't scratch without knowing the best time to scratch.
Right.
So, there's small appropriate windows for scratching, and for people to just kind of do it, it ends up out of place, or something sounds kind of off, but you alleviate that when you actually know the timing and know the fundamentals. And it's like kind of playing, I don't know if you played DDR or DJ Hero, Guitar Hero. Yeah. It's that timing. It's getting it at the right time.
Exactly.
It's that. Yeah. So it's pretty much like it's like an artistic musical game you're playing almost.
Yeah. For sure. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, it's all about how you execute that exact move, whatever you do, whether it's a transition, a scratch, or it's how you execute it, and the timing has to be appropriate. And everything's rhythmic. Being a DJ, it's about BPM, it's about the sound and genre of music. It's all rhythm, and that makes sense. For an up and coming DJ, these things are extremely important.
Very.
So talk to me about we are in Charlotte, and I'm gonna keep talking about Concord specifically, but we're in North Carolina. And I'm gonna keep bringing up newer DJs that are in the local kind of sort of sphere. What would you say is a challenge or the obstacles of being a DJ in North Carolina You can
In
speak to
general,
Charlotte.
or,
You can speak to Charlotte specifically, but in North Carolina in general is a state.
I would probably say that, the biggest challenge is, I wouldn't even say putting your foot down. It's you have to handle yourself as what you are. You have to realize that when you're stepping into the profession of entertainment, yourself, your walking being with a pulse is a business at that point. All of your interactions, as far as, DJing goes, it's subject to be talked about to other people, and that's perfectly normal because it's business. It's not like, you're gossiping.
Right.
If you're doing business with somebody and you do wrong business with them,
yeah, it's open.
There's
season.
Yelp for that.
For sure. Yeah, 100%.
If you don't think, the entertainment scene talks, when that happens. So that's pretty much what I'm saying. Taking your brand seriously, and taking your brand seriously, it comes with two territories. It comes with holding yourself accountable and holding somebody else accountable of what you're going to tolerate from them as an entertainer and as a business, and what you see yourself worthy of.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the biggest learning thing, because you have these younger cats on here, out here that, they'll come out and they'll take a gig, 4 hours, $50. They like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a time period for that, but it needs to expire.
Yeah, certainly. Price got to go up.
Exactly. And these promoters actually end up rotating with those $50 DJs. And so it's like the $50 DJ either stays on, or the $50 DJ gets ditched for the next $50 DJ.
It's creating a cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the quality gets left out. The people that know their worth gets left out, because a lot of people don't want to pay for quality. The people that want to pay for quality, and the people that, they prioritize that teamwork aspect of it.
Yeah.
When doing business, they do the best business.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're out for yourself. And,
Facts.
It's not a judgmental type deal. And I'm one of those people that, I'm a nice person. I'm a nice dude. But in business, friendship, and it's not really a factor. There's no feelings in business.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no feelings in it. And that's not saying, cut the next man's throat.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But that's saying you have to take your emotions and feelings out of business
completely.
Because business is, you're conducting stuff to handle your real life stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
At the end of the day, we love music. We're all passionate about music, but at the same time, it's a job.
Yeah.
And it's an occupation. And that's when the younger DJs coming in hold these other people that are trying to mess these younger DJs that don't know better up. When they start to hold those people accountable immediately, that's when change is going to happen as far as on the DJ scene. But until that happens, it's going to stay the same.
Yeah. Because
more people are looking for someone to take advantage of rather than to build with.
And that's important to know. As a rookie DJ or someone who's just getting on the scene, you need to know sort of what the issues are in the background, like the thing that you're joining into.
Yes.
Like you have to know the lay of the land such that you understand why you get certain results from certain things. That's really important. I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of up and coming, I talk to hosts all the time who are just getting into the game, and I'm like, you gotta understand that, again, it's a business, and you have to conduct everything as such. Don't look at it as, oh, they did me wrong and they don't like me personally, when it's more of business, and you got to really view it as from a lens of like, I should treat this as though I am literally putting my brand on the line. Every time you step out, every time you turn anything on, even when you walk in, even if you're not working specifically, you're representing yourself as the brand. Exactly. And you don't want to ruin people's perception of that and where you can go with it. So, you want to be very aware of that. So everybody listening that's new, keep these, write this down somewhere.
Yeah, these are gems. It's a careful walk, but like I said, you have to hold yourself equally as accountable as you
Yeah.
hold the next man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the best advice I could give somebody, new and trying to, thinking about, putting their toe in the water of the scene.
Yeah.
It's essential. It's going to stick with you forever.
Can you speak to a time where you've had to deal with that yourself, of like,
Countless, man.
you felt like it was possibly some personal thing, against you or your craft, but looking back, you realize that, this was just a learning lesson for me in business and in branding, where, I could have handled something differently or done something in a way that, could have possibly went another direction.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to be messy and drop names, but like I said, I'll say, Joe or whatever.
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't going to use fake names like that, man. But,
DBNB.
yeah, I was DJing at some point at a venue, and it was for the homie.
Mm.
And so, I was taking a pay cut off of that.
Okay.
I
hate that, by the way.
Yeah.
hate that, by
At
the
this time, I'm getting to be known, but I haven't raised my price up all the way yet. I hadn't, been out there enough. I was starting to raise my price, but I was still willing to take a pay cut. I still had that hunger in me. And I still had that hunger in me, but
Yeah.
but anyway,
For sure.
yeah, it started out, I was making, a little less than I probably wanted to. And eventually that less became even less. And the crowds that we was bringing out, the crowds was popping.
Yeah. It should have went the other way.
Exactly. The crowds is popping. Y'all charging heads at the door, but my pay is going down. And so that was one of my biggest lessons and like I said, I don't even think this person had something personal against me. In that more so, it's kind of like, and I don't even mean I compare the DJ game and the entertainment game, I compare it to dealing with a significant other. It ain't necessarily they know better to do better. Sometimes they just don't know better.
Yeah.
Like that's their business nature, and it's the most common job structure in America.
Yeah.
Let's penny pinch these little couple people we can do.
100%.
Let's fade the quality.
Yeah.
Let's get this little pinch and let's just pinch from this, and pinch from this. And there's so many, just like the majority of, America's like this. There are so many promoters that have that motive, that I was telling you about,
Yeah.
they're trying to shark somebody. They looking for blood in the water.
Yeah.
And that's just, I don't, it just kind of, it was one of my biggest examples of that it ain't even always something personal. Sometimes it can be personal. The person can be secretly jealous of you. That's something I've experienced. And the secretly jealous, that comes out.
And these be coming from men too. Like,
yeah, exactly.
This be coming from grown men.
I have had grown men unfollow me because
Yo. Yeah.
and it's just like
It's just, come on, man.
It's just
It's
goes
young.
back to take your emotions out of business,
Exactly.
bruh.
Precisely.
Take your emotions out of business, and if it's that pressing, hit my line.
Yeah.
And
Discuss
if you don't have my line to hit, that should tell you your place as well. A lot of people, this
to 'em.
Instagram calling and stuff like that.
Hey, man, I don't know what to say.
It's not right. It's stalkerish. For real. If you don't have access to someone, to that number, if you have an email or if you have an Instagram, that means that person wanted you to have their email or their Instagram. They didn't want to be blown up. People have lives. People are very busy. A lot of people miss this concept.
Young DJs,
Yeah.
tap in. I'm telling
They
you.
miss this concept
You should be aware of this early.
because, and I like to compare stuff. It's like the people at your Uncle Sam job that take the job too seriously. They all in. They trying to make friends. They like, what y'all doing after this? We trying to, let's go get drinks. It's like, I done seen you all week.
Right, exactly. All week.
And the difference in that is those people in the DJ world are the people that are doing it for the wrong reasons. The people that are doing it shallowly.
Yeah.
They're trying to get attention from girls. They're trying to impress somebody. They trying to look cool. They trying to get followers. It's a perception. That's, when you do it like that, your success, it comes and goes. It's seasonal.
Yeah.
Like, you don't control when you succeed. Now, we all don't control when we succeed. But you really have no control over it when you're trend following.
Yeah.
Because if you're just following the trend, when the trend drop, you dropping too.
Yeah, you're moving with it. Yeah.
But if you're in your own lane and you're making your own current, and when you touch the equipment, what you're doing, the next man can't do, even if it's some basic stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you unique, you need to stick to that.
Yeah.
And whatever your, marketing and your gimmick or whatever that is, you stick to that. You don't veer off. And, like I said, that's another thing. These people are easily influenced. These promoters are influenced by, oh, well, they had such and such. They did this many numbers. I'm sure that I've never even heard these conversations, and I know it happens.
Yeah.
Because I've heard so many of the other, aspects of that in other fields.
Yeah.
It's a comparison thing. When you compare, you're robbing yourself of your creativity. You're stressing yourself out more, and you're comparing what's set for you, and you don't even know what's set for you, to what's set for somebody else.
Yeah.
So, just like everybody has a different path to get to the DJ game, you got a different path to progress through the DJ game as well.
Exactly.
And I feel like both in the DJ game and the rap game, it's a lot of copying.
100%. I mean, and
A
that's
lot of copying.
That's the thing too. I think we very often just fall into the thing of calling it, it should be flattering. Like, oh, you're doing so well that people copy you. And boy, have I had my fair share of MCs who will steal literal words out of my mouth.
Wow.
Neither here nor there.
I've
Won't
had
get into no
transition
names.
stolen, so I can relate.
It's like it's like they come to the club and they had a phone voice memos on. Like they got the voice memos recording, and then they go home and listen to you religiously.
Wow.
Like man, like it's insane. But young DJs, young hosts, like you should know that these things exist. Like I love going down this lane of giving gems to the up and comers. And in this same lane, when you were younger as a DJ, can you think of a moment where like an OG DJ really, I guess, either gave you something or made it make sense for you in the moment? And I'm saying this so maybe like a younger sort of up and coming DJ can like know the right questions to ask when they see someone who's in their craft. Can you think of anything?
Don't be afraid to walk up to him and talk to him, man.
Definitely.
No matter how much you look up to him, man, and I even, I'll say this, man, and these people know this, man. Butterfingers, DJ Butterfingers and DJ Polo. Big shouts out to them. Charlotte DJs, they were my DJ heroes, man. They, big shouts out to Flex and Drama and people like that. These people were influential, but as far as hearing transitions frequently and, hearing consecutive good sets and regular good sets.
Yeah.
These are the people that I was looking up to as a younger DJ, because I was listening to them before I even thought about wanting to be a DJ.
Yeah.
So like meeting them and really them knowing who I was, first of all, it was flattering as I don't know what.
Yeah.
I actually sent Butterfingers the Future mix. And so he had been listening to me since, the virtual days.
Yeah.
As far as Polo, I met him. We were having a DJ event one time. And once again, I met him, and he knew who I was, and don't be afraid to ask them, about anything, really, man. These OGs, I know, a lot of people, hold them on a pedestal, and rightfully so. But they aren't aliens neither.
Yeah.
Like, you know, not everybody, and I've talked a lot about, you know, those promoters and people that's on the bad end of the spectrum as far as out to get somebody. A lot of these OGs just want to pass the knowledge down, bro.
Yeah.
You know, they see, and it's not even that they know their time is ticking. That giving back.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
Because somebody gave
Yeah.
somebody gave something to them.
Yeah.
And it's paying it forward. So I feel like to move any culture forward, there has to be some paying forward.
Yeah.
And I can even draw this to fashion. You see paying forward in trends returning.
Yeah, always.
You know, baggy clothes and, you know, all white Air Force Ones and stuff. It went away, and it's
right back.
it's there's a constant paying it forward and
Yeah.
a flipping. And I feel like, you know, the gems that they gave me was, you know, just letting me know that, you know, just little tips on, you know, timing and, you know, saying, you know, I like this or do more of this, do more of that. And that advice, like I said, that advice from somebody that's put in that much work is priceless, man.
Yeah, 100%.
It's priceless. And, you know, it's just like dropping a sponge in water. You just soak it all up.
Yeah.
And when you soak it up for them, you know, what they have told you, it's showing them that you take what they've done for the DJing game or for whatever game they're in seriously. You take that seriously and you use that as homage to them. You use that suggestion as, you know, as homage to them. And it's like I said, moments like that is just priceless.
Yeah.
As far as, you know, getting that guidance and, you know, somebody to steer you in the right direction. And they even, you know, beyond advice, if they really like you, they start throwing you sets, man. They literally will throw you opportunities if you tap in with them enough and if you consistent enough with them. So, like I said, that's my advice. Don't be afraid of these people. Walk up to them. If you see them at an event, walk up. If you got a mix or something that you want them to check out, ask them. The worst thing they can say is no. And most of the time, if you're real cool and you're real patient and polite with them, they probably gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, but I think Butterfingers listening to my future mix was a huge, you know, him telling me, and he ain't even tell me it was good. He told me I was on the right track. And he might as well told me I was DJ Jazzy Jeff for it coming from DJ Butterfingers.
You're on the right track. Yeah, for sure.
Like that's why I was like, all right, I can do this.
yeah, for sure. And man, that's definitely a great look for a young up and coming DJ.
Yeah.
Like that validation. And you mentioned briefly before, like, sort of the similarity between DJing, like the DJing game and like the rap game, and how they have a lot of parallels. Like, talk to me about some of the local artists that you've worked with, and what, I guess, what advice would you give to a younger DJ who would possibly want to work alongside or collaborate with artists that are in their area?
Okay.
What some gems?
First of all, big shouts out to my artists, and I'm gonna name them. It's no order, but I'm gonna name them in chronological order that I started working with them.
Okay.
Shouts out to Sarion.
Big shout.
Super dope, super talented. Shouts out to Pretty Fine.
Shout.
Charlotte, born and raised, straight out the valley. If you know, you know. Shouts out to Trey Armstrong.
Shout.
And we actually saw him. It was his birthday last night. Shouts out to Dolo Devil, man.
Oh, happy belated, fam.
Yeah, and
Man.
Cuzzo killed it out there, man. It's all of them. I work with them. They just, it's just a realm of talent, man. And this is me segueing into the advice for the younger DJs. Just like I told y'all, don't, you know, these OGs ain't aliens. You know, don't be afraid to go talk to them. Don't be afraid to go to these artist events. And, you know,
facts.
If you hear something you like, tap in with them. Get that email. Exchange Instagrams with them at the very least, because that's going to start you building your network up. And that's how I can say I spread like wildfire through Charlotte. So many artists, and even, you know, you meet general public, random people that don't really know me. But it's so many DJs and so many artists that know who I am. And like I said, it's artists and DJs that know me that I don't even know who they are. It got to that point. Like,
reputation precedes itself. Yeah.
Go out, listen to these local artists' music, vibe with them, rock with them, come to a studio session. Don't be a stranger with these people, man. Music is a team and a community sport. And, those people that don't understand that, their longevity has an expiration date.
Yeah.
So, networking is a huge part of that. And you're networking, just like I gave advice on networking with the OGs. Like I said, exchange numbers with these people. They are going to be a little younger than the OGs, so you might be able to have more of a friend relationship with them. It doesn't have to be as formal of a relationship, and I think that's where people get intimidated by with the OGs. They think it's, right, that, it's like a proper type, and it's not that. But with the artists, it's even more of a cut loose relationship.
Yeah.
It's because y'all are direct contemporaries if you think about it. The DJ and the artist it's 1 + 1 and 2.
Yeah, facts.
So, that's, don't be afraid to tap in. Get the emails. Give them your email. Mm-hmm. Give them your email and have them send you tracks. And artists really remember that. And artists remember a face, even if they don't remember you. And if artists don't remember you, they're going to see you so many times. If you outside like that,
yeah,
they're going to be like, all right.
They're going to tap in anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what's up.
And it got to the point to where, and this is another thing for the younger the younger DJs. For me, it got to the point I knew I was, getting outside enough to where they was like, yo, I don't even know you, but I just see you all the time. So yeah. I'm going to tap in with you. Uh-huh. You doing something. I'm like, all right, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Exactly.
Always down to work.
Send the music. So, don't be afraid to give that email out. Don't be afraid to walk up, politic, tap in. And you never know what's on the other side of the next, relationship or, business partnership. Or you never know. That's how those things come about.
Yeah.
And it's natural chemistry and, things like that.
Yeah. And that's important as a young up and coming DJ or up and coming anything. Mm-hmm. Growing your network and your brand is should be always number one priority. Mm-hmm. You want to scale, you want to build, you want to make things larger and mm-hmm. more grand or whatever. So you want to make sure you're putting that work in early. Mm-hmm. So I think that's important. And, me knowing your work, I know that you've went different cities and gone mm-hmm. crazy. We were in Howard, that's in DC. Mm-hmm. That's a little far from Charlotte. Mm-hmm. But being able to go crazy in DC and in Charlotte is important. Yeah. Just being able to, like you said, read the room, understand the demographics and play towards those mm-hmm. is super important. That'll help your brand spread like wildfire, mm-hmm. like yours did. Talk to me and give the audience some insight on the places that you DJ'd okay. and what are some of the things that you like about those places?
I'll start with most recent. I've been doing Babe Cave, and it's dope, man. It's unique. Like a lot of the venues that I was doing earlier on, they wanted a cookie cutter club set. They wanted, your dreams and nightmares. If you buck. Like new DJs start out there, but don't be too hot on it because what you bring to the game that's new that's going to dictate your longevity mm-hmm. in addition to your net worth and your network.
Yeah.
But places I've DJ'd in Atlanta.
ATL.
Flock was actually down there for that. Spur of the moment. That tends to be the theme with me. Shit just be happening. Yeah. We was down there, we was eating, and we was waiting on our food, and there was a DJ there, and I got impatient. That's literally how it went. And his brother actually went to Howard.
Oh man.
So that was pretty cool.
That's dope.
DJing in Atlanta, man. I've always been so fascinated with Atlanta and the culture. Before Charlotte, really got that push musically. Mm-hmm. Which came about the mid to late 2000s, about 2006, 7,
Mm-hmm.
8, something like that. That's when the local Charlotte scene started to make a little noise. Before that, it was just Atlanta, bro.
Yeah.
So that was all we had. Like, that's why oftentimes you hear Charlotte called baby Atlanta. So going to Atlanta to DJ, it's like going to the Southern music mecca.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, you know, I play a lot of Atlanta music. It's not saturated, but I play a lot of Atlanta music in my sets.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you can't avoid it. It's the essential. It's the New York City of the South.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Basically.
makes sense.
Other places I've DJ'd. Did you want to know as far as the venues or the cities?
Either one. You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite places to DJ in Charlotte is Oak Room. Oak Room. It's some crazy lighting in there, and like the system is so good that like you can feel your transitions in your feet. Like,
Oh yeah, that feedback. You need that feedback, especially at 2 a.m. when you off the henny.
Yeah, but I love DJing there for that reason. It's like kind of like a different type of experience when you can rumble the place to that degree. But yeah, I was talking about Babe Cave. It's unique. It's geared, you know, towards women as far as the venue goes.
Yeah.
But it's not exclusively for women. So men are allowed, but they wanted to pretty much create a safe environment for women to feel, you know, when they go out, and, you know, not all women feel safe. And so,
Facts.
you know, something like that, it's a good cause. They take care of people. That's right up my alley as far as, you know, a venue and DJing. Definitely enjoyed the Red at 28th nights. Actually next door to where we was yesterday, Flock. That's that empty lot on the corner that was Red. And that was fun, man. We had some wild nights in there. I met Allen Iverson in there.
Oh shit.
Anthony Morrow used to come in there frequently.
How was that AI experience? What?
It was surreal, man. Like, and AI was he's one of my favorite players, period.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
There's Mike, there's AI, and there's Kobe.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
so when I met AI, I was starstruck. I was very much so starstruck.
Did he call you a dog?
No, he didn't. But I did yell, we talking about practice to him.
That's important. Yeah,
And he was vibing.
Okay.
Just stuff like that. But, and this wasn't even a regular gig, but opening for Boosie, man, being on that stage and, you know, looking out and seeing all them people, and they not know who I was, but
They
you know,
know you as a day.
Yeah, yeah.
Gonna know me
but
today.
you know, they ain't boot me off stage, so I ain't do too bad.
Hey,
And then just to look behind me as I'm packing my stuff up and Boosie's coming on stage. It's just like
It's nuts.
surreal. And we had that moment, but I wasn't DJing or performing. We kind of had a moment similar to that with the Migos.
Okay.
So,
Who are now apparently broken up, but
Yeah.
you know. Shout out to Uncle Few.
Hey, yo, did you hear the song yet?
I haven't. I
Okay.
haven't.
gotta hear
But
it.
I've heard some good things.
Okay.
You know, not praying on nobody's downfall. I hope you guys are reconcile. You know, and get back together.
Y'all gotta
but-
get like Ray Sherman, man. They be beating them rumors.
On God.
They
on
beat
God.
them rumors.
Yeah. But okay, so you talked about Atlanta. You talked about in Charlotte,
DC.
In DC, what's your favorite venue to DJ at? You can also choose any house from the house parties you've frequented.
I don't even remember the name of it. Where I DJ'd whatever the last homecoming was. I had a set that Friday, and it was 2 levels. That joint was pretty nice, man. It was packed out. It was a lot of 2014 in there. That was lit. I would say Abigail that I've DJ'd at.
Okay.
Abigail
okay.
was nice, man.
Yeah.
The little greenery set behind.
Yeah.
And I love platform stages.
Oh, same.
The platform stages, it just kind of give you an adrenaline rush almost. Like, not even on some all eyes on you type deal, but feeling them transitions in your feet. Like
it makes sense. It makes
different.
sense.
Like, it's a different level of being in sync with what you're doing.
Yeah, facts.
I want to do the punch out one day, like just to say I did it.
Oh
on
my
some
god,
shit. Like,
the punch out at Howard used to be nuts.
Yeah.
Like, we used to go crazy at the punch out for no
Yeah.
reason at all. Shout out to Turkey Hill. This isn't sponsored, but shout out to Turkey Hill for holding many a liquor for us. Many an alcoholic beverage for us.
man, Turkey Hill was that shit.
Man, still is to this day. But yeah, that's I feel like that low key, those moments at the punch out, you know, going crazy with your friends and at this high level of energy, you know, really helps after once you're like professionally doing it, because you almost know what's going to happen. Like, you almost can see it play out exactly the same way. And your instincts in the middle of it are certainly, you know, polished by the time you leave Howard. So by the time that you become a DJ or like a host like myself, like, you know exactly what to do at the highest energy level. You know where to go.
Yeah.
You know how to move the energy. And I think that's so important. Young DJs and MCs definitely do the same. You know, go to these events. If you haven't, you know, gone to college and had the HBCU college experience of, like, you know, partying, then go to some of these sets. Go to some of these, you know, Fridays and Saturdays at clubs and, like, you know, listen. You know, just if you admire the DJ or not, you know, listen for things that you may do or may not do, and realize that there's always a place to grow, you know, and you got to, you know, listen to as much as you can and just as much as you can, you know, polish your craft and, you know, be the best you can. But just by doing that research, you know, that's a part of that 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, my question for you is in that same lane, name some DJs that we haven't discussed yet that you like to listen to that are from the city.
From the city?
Yeah.
See that I had an answer right on the tip of my tongue, but I love international DJs.
Oh, yeah.
And national DJs, but in the city, man, Nolo Turn Up is hard, man. He's young and he's fire. Of course, the OGs, I haven't mentioned him yet, but DJ Strategy, man, all the gems that he dropped on me, you know, opening for him at Red, it was very dope. Everybody, man, DJ Expressions, all the way back, you know, bro came from hosting. You know, we had just met him, and he was, you know, hosting at Firehouse.
Oh, man.
that first venue. So, you know, that was one of the people I've been rolling with, you know, since day one. Can I do the national and international?
Sure. If you who international DJs, who's your favorite? Go ahead.
Man, it's this dude. It's this UK dude. It's like DJ. I don't even want to look it up because I don't want to pull my phone out. But them UK DJs, like, the transitions is a much higher priority over there.
Really?
In America.
Really?
Yes.
Explain the difference for me.
It's just important. Like, they're risk takers. Like, after this interview, I can play you. He had it's like a 20-minute Kanye mix, and you know, he's mixing stuff like Beanie Siegel the Truth with like some old Kanye. Like, it's like that type of deal. Like, they really studying on that stuff, and I wouldn't. That's not me saying that, you know, I'm anti-America and stuff like that. But
yeah.
I really feel like the DJ culture in America, as far as new up and coming DJs, it's getting lazy. It's getting very lazy. They don't really want to blend. They don't really want to.
Is that because of the technology that's available, or is it?
Yes.
What can you speak to why that's the case?
I think it's the case because it's definitely technology. You know, if it's easier to do something, 9 times out of 10, people is gonna do it. They're gonna jump through the hoop. But it's a passion thing for me. Like, you can hear, DJs can hear a good 3 to 4. By 5, you have confirmation transitions of, you know, whether it's a good DJ or not.
Right. Yeah.
Just off of, you know, You can look around, and that was something I was gonna mention with what you was telling the young DJs last time. Really observe like the body language of these people when these people are dropping these songs, when you're going out to, because knowing what to look for, be it a smile, a head nod, a foot tap, like that's the psychological stuff that you know
for sure.
You as a DJ, you need to be looking for when you playing records. And if you're not getting no reaction, no, you gotta come with something. You gotta come with
you gotta hit him in the face.
Yeah. So
yeah,
like I just think that's a really important thing. You know, looking up when you DJ.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes on the road. It's the same deal.
Yeah.
You know, hand in hand.
Okay. So we've pretty much given an entire toolkit for these younger, younger up and coming DJs, and I think hosts get a little bit of information there too. What are some things that you're planning for the future? I know that you've always thought about, I guess, the plan. You've always thought about like what you would like to see yourself doing in the next few years, and you start to put things in line such that it makes sense once you finally get that window to shoot it and to execute it. What are some things that you are looking to do in the future if you aren't already working on them now?
Get out of Charlotte, man. As far as DJing wise, like I'm definitely wanting to tap in with my main hubs, Atlanta and DC more, but I'm trying to get to a Texas, man. I'm trying to get to a New York. I'm trying to get to, you know, a Cali, somewhere like that. Somewhere that, you know, I love the music enough and the culture enough that I know what would make them, you know, go up pretty much. You know, just branching out like that, definitely continuing the network. And just brushing shoulders with new people, man. Like, you know, when you, just in life in general, but especially on the scene, when you're brushing shoulders with people, it don't need to always be the same people in the entertainment scene. You brushing shoulders with different people challenges you and breeds different levels of creativity in you. And, you know, not necessarily that you're copying the person, but you meeting somebody might spark an out-of-the-box thought that you might not have had, you know, had you not met the person. And so, you know, I think, you know, networking and really, you know, building yourself up like that, these are things that are really, really important to, you know, once again, your longevity that we were speaking on. So, just getting out more, like I said, you know, brushing shoulders, meeting new people, meeting new artists, listening to new artists, and really just hoping some passion comes to the game of DJing. Like as far as in the on the American end, on the Charlotte end, like it's just kind of, you know, just like we said, the DJ game is a reflection of the rap game. The rap game has gotten tremendously more lazy.
Extremely,
you know, than it's ever been. And, you know, not to say that it's bad. It's just, it's different. It's a different time period. And that technology, just like that auto-tune, it's introduced laziness.
For sure.
And it's introduced people forming bad habits without realizing they're forming them till it's too late.
And the easy access to these DAWs and you know, production programs. For sure. And I think, you know, to your point of like, you know, putting all this extra work in the back end is doing exactly what you need to do in an environment where it's becoming lazy, to be a role model of work ethic. You know, just like guys who are like the new cat that got signed on TDE as Kendrick's leaving, the new younger guy, like he's bringing all bars, right? Like he's like, his entire sort of style is purist sort of rap. And just like you know, kind of getting on the scene and being slightly newer, but not super new to it, you know, you're showing that the most important things are these individual skill sets, these, you know, the extra, you know, doing the smaller venues and then kind of working out your set and then figuring out new material almost in a way, and trying these things out to make yourself better. I think that's the best thing to do, you know, if you do see the field is becoming lazy, just to be a role model, show it off. Man, that's certainly a great place for, you know, DJs to start. I think just work ethic. We're in New North Carolina, Concord specifically, right outside of Charlotte.
At the House of the 90s.
At the House of the 90s Museum. Big shout out Jess again. Oh man, she's an absolute joy. We appreciate
great people.
Everything you've done for us using your space, and it's an absolutely beautiful space. You need to pull up to the House of 90s Museum if you're in North Carolina. I'm telling you. You will not regret it. It's so many things like this.
This is the Rugrats in Paris in my hand right now.
So many deep cuts here. Everywhere you look, it's something interesting.
It's a very cool place.
Everywhere you look is something incredible. And I certainly recommend you should pull up. Bring a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Pull up on us. We're certainly going to be coming back and definitely working with Jess more often.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
It's your boy Mike on the mic. We've sat here with DJ Davin, and we are certainly, man. My guy. Certainly honored to do this with you. We got to do this again.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we should do something for these up and coming young DJs.
We should.
We're giving them some gems.
Low key, it sounds like we could teach a class on this shit one day.
We could.
So we gonna put that in the back pocket.
Yeah, for sure. Write that down.
We gonna be lit for now.
Yeah, man. Once again, your boy Mike on the mic, DJ Dive In.
Oh yeah.
We gonna see you next time.
Yeah.